Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Some really good moves over the week, and let's have a look at how the market is setting up for the next week. Those that are looking for the cryptocurrency analysis, just look out on the YouTube channel for the crypto webinar. This is going to be a Forex. We're going to be looking at Forex instruments, commodities, as well as the indices for a crypto-specific webinar. Check out Crypto Corner on the channel. Right, so if you'd like to contact us, you can do so. Our contact details are under the description of all the videos on our channel. So for any information that you're looking for example, the course, our course was supposed to start tomorrow, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we have moved the course up by 7 days. So that means the course will start on the 17th of February. So the course will start on the 17th of February. Apologies for the inconvenience for those that have registered for the course. We will update and send out the arrangement, the new arrangement. So if you still like to book for the course, you can do so at our website, elliottwave-principle.com. You will get immediately when you purchase the course, a full recording of the course. That means you can start watching the course, and then when we do the live one in February, that is 17th now, then you've already watched the course, and you can have an opinion. You can get to ask questions during that webinar, during the live course. So let's get started with this week's analysis. We'll start with the trade recaps of some of the trades that we looked at in the last week and some of the analysis that we've done in the last week. So let's just run through a couple of them here. Let's just have a look here. I just want to look at specifically this week. Let's have a look here. So let's start with okay, the cryptocurrencies we're going to look in the next week. So this was the forecast on the cryptocurrencies as far as Bitcoin was concerned. We were looking for this to come down here and make a move to the upside. But this is how it has now played out. We'll go into more detail on the crypto webinar on this one. This is Bitcoin 1 hour. The chart was posted on January the 18th. That is Bitcoin. That is how it has played out. As you can see, we are now making a move to the upside. The structure has changed slightly. We may not go up in a straight line as shown, but we'll do an update on the crypto webinar. That was Ethereum, and that was the expectation on Ethereum. And we all know how Ethereum has played out after that move. That is how it has played out, the move to the downside and then a push to the upside. We're currently around here. Ethereum is now at all-time highs. It is on the cryptos, Euro US dollar. So Euro US dollar, not only did we forecast when we were on the way down here. At this point, even last week, we said Euro US dollar can make a move here. Either it makes a bounce up and then downside, or it can just make a simple three-wave structure and then push to the upside. Now, how have we done? It has now dropped and it has now made this move to the upside. Are we ready for this move to the upside? That's what we'll update shortly when we start with the webinar. That is a Euro US dollar. That is how it has played out. So it has now made this move. Now we're expecting that move. That was last week. And so this is actually the latest update on the Euro US dollar. All right, so let's have a look at more of these. Let's have a look. Let's scroll down here. That was last week. Where are some of the setups here? Right, just hold on a second. Okay, so some of the setups we will see as we start with the analysis. We'll be referring to the website for all the charts update, how the charts were updated, and what we expect going forward. Right, so let's get started with the analysis for this week. We'll start obviously with the DXY. Right, so here are some of the trade setups that we've been looking at in the week, and I'll start with US dollar chief. This was an update of our setups in the last week. So this was US dollar chief. US dollar chief, we were looking for this one to make a three-wave structure and then move to the downside. How has it played out now? Let's have a look at how it has now played out. So we've got the move to the upside and we're starting to get a move to the downside. Looks like we are going to go all the way down again. This US dollar is going to resume its weakness. So this was the chart after on US dollar chief. That is how it has played out. So we've got the move to the upside. Are we now ready for the move to the downside? We'll see that once we do the updates on the charts shortly, right? That was US dollar chief, the DXY. We've looked at the same chart. It is exactly the same as the US dollar chief chart. There's no way you could not have gotten a trade on US dollar chief if you had seen what the DXY was doing. And so this was the DXY here. So the DXY was making exactly the same structure, a three-wave move to the upside. It has pushed up higher, and now we're seeing this impulsive move to the downside. Are we ready to go down? It looks like exactly as the wave analysis has predicted. This is how the move is going on the DXY. This is the after. That's how it is. I've clicked the wrong one here. Let's get the chart after. This was before, this is after. So this is how it has played out. So we've got the move to the upside as forecasted, and now we're getting this. Is this the move to the downside? We need to check what the analysis looks like in the next week. That was the DXY, US dollar yen, same. There was the forecast. The forecast was for this to go to the upside, and this has actually played out pretty well because as you have been, if you've been watching the markets, you know that US dollar yen has gone on to go around 105.60, somewhere around there. So that is playing out pretty well. So this is a US dollar yen, and that is how it has played out. So members get these charts well before they play out. For example, this one on US dollar yen was posted on the website for members on the, let's just confirm the date, on the 23rd of January. And then last week it has reached the target and now it's starting to make the reversal. So that is how this one is played out. A very nice one. It's on US dollar yen. Pound yen. So pound yen, we're looking for this to make a push to the upside. This was last year actually on pound. So this was 1, 2, 3, looking for this to make a move to the downside. This is an old chart here. Let's just have a look here. So a number of ways that this is playing out. So this from last year has done this, has come down around this area, and we are making a move to around 44. So the chart here started from November 7th. This was the forecast. So you can see if you go to pound yen, you will see that we forecasted this three-wave move, this pullback, which we got like this as a correction, and now we are making this move on pound yen. And let's have a look here, and you'll see the latest one that we've posted in the last week. That is how this one has played out. So this is how pound yen has played out. A very beautiful structure, as you can see there. Forecasted from November, 3 months back, 4 months back, and this is where we are. We're still looking for this to make a push to the upside. What was the structure that we forecasted on pound yen? It was a three-wave structure that we were looking at in that Y degree, and this is where we were. We were here looking for this corrective structure, which has now played out. When we were here, we had a trade for downside and then upside. Where are we now? This is where we are. Just last week, we had the forecast here for upside on pound yen. That is how amazing wave analysis is. Very nice setup here on pound yen. Right, so let's go through the rest of the pairs here. We started with the DXY and the US dollar chief. So the DXY has made a three-wave move, just like US dollar chief, and we are looking for this one to make a continuation to the downside. You need to have a strategy to know when to enter this. Yes, we can see the move is resuming to the downside. What if you enter now and it continues to the upside before it drops? So you need to have a strategy that tells you when the trade is ready to be executed. So that is a DXY, Euro, US dollar. So Euro, US dollar, I've already shown this one during trade setups. We were looking for this one. And when we were here, I said, wait for a pullback. It was going to make a move to the downside and then upside. Where are we now? We've made a small impulse to the upside. Are we ready for upside? No need to rush. You need to wait for that confirmation. So this could have made a flat correction here and still made a move here. So what we're essentially waiting for was the corrective structure to complete. Is the corrective structure complete? Is this the way forward that we've been looking for? And is the euro ready for a move to the upside? Wait for this one to confirm here. Upside. That is Euro, US dollar. Pound, US dollar. Let's go to the website on this one. Just see what the structure looks like. Just take some of this off here. Let's have a look at the structure on US dollar, pound, US dollar. Looking on the pound pairs here. So pound, US dollar. Okay, there are two views on pound US dollar. It's still continuing to the upside. We are around this level now. So if the structure that I've shown a couple of weeks back on pound is this. Let's look at it on the 4 hour. Let's have a look at this one. So we have been looking at this one to be a 11 string sequence here with this correction, with this correction, with this correction here. Looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So there's a possibility that what we're getting here is a 3 waves up here, 3 waves back. 3 waves up here, 3 waves back. Now this running flat here is 1, is 2, is 3. So you could be getting here a WXY XZ structure in the yellow degree as follows: WXY XZ. So we are watching this as it plays out. So at the moment, what we're seeing here is that we are getting a break to the upside here, possibly to complete this move to the upside. So we're still going to see upside. There is no sign of reversal. The indicator is not showing any sign of reversal at this point. We're still seeing upside on pound US dollar in the next coming sessions. And that goes for pound chief as well. We'll look at pound chief when we get to it. US dollar chief, we've already looked at this one during trade setups. It has made a 3-wave pullback similar to the DXY. What are we looking for? We're looking for confirmation for downside. Okay, so this is how we have it here. On the side here, US dollar chief on the 4-hour. We're looking for this one to continue to the downside because we're looking at this to be the last wave to the downside here on US dollar chief. That's where that structure comes from. That's why we focused on the move to the upside here, and now we're looking for this. So this was a trade against the trend. We could take this because as far as the indicator was giving us, we could focus how far this move was going to go. And that is exactly how this has played out. 200 free pips on this one alone. Right, so that is US dollar chief. Let's run through the rest. US dollar CAD. So US dollar CAD as well, we are looking for a continuation to the downside. Is this a running flat on US dollar CAD? And is this going to make a move to the downside? It looks very likely that we're going to get a move to the downside, as seeing that US dollar, the US dollar is showing weakness in the next coming sessions. Let's have a look at what it looks like on the site. Let's have a look here. We're looking for US dollar CAD. Let's have a look at it. This is US dollar CAD. This is the reason why we're expecting continuation to the downside. It's a wave 4 in the red degree, made a 3-wave pullback, and now we're making a move to the downside. So look for sell setups on US dollar CAD. The move to the downside is resuming. AUD US dollar. So AUD US dollar, this corrective structure has been complex, and we actually thought that was going to go much lower, but you'll see what the structure looks like. It's very interesting structure now. We had a sell setup. We had a sell setup on AUD around this area, looking for it to continue to the downside. That has failed, obviously, as we can now see that this has now made this corrective structure that looks like a zigzag here, and it looks like we are making a move to the upside here on AUD US dollar. So the structure looks pretty interesting because we've got this corrective structure, WXY, and we'll be looking for this one to push to the upside. There needs to be a confirmation still here on this one for you to get a trade set up to the upside. But it's a very nice 3-wave pullback. Then we'll be looking for upside on AUD US dollar. Okay, so let's have a look at the structure, what it looks like on here, the 4-hour. This is the current structure on AUD US dollar, looking for this to be a wave 4. I've said a couple of times that whatever pullback we're going to get on the AUD, it will be just that, a pullback, because we are looking for overall upside here. Here I was trying to take advantage of the fact that this can get up to the 50% of this, but we didn't. We only reversed about 38%, which is still fine. We'll be looking for this one to continue to the upside when we get the trade set up. That is AUD US dollar, New Zealand yen. Let's have a look at New Zealand yen as well. So New Zealand yen has got a very nice structure as well. It's all clear. The structures are now very clear on all these instruments. So this one is 1, 2, 3 here. New Zealand looks to have resumed upside for that wave 5. So we're looking for this one to make 5 waves to the upside. Let me just get the chart to be clear here, centralize it. So this is where we are on New Zealand. We've got a 3-way move to the downside here, and it looks like we are resuming upside here with 5 waves. The breakout of this one, we're going for that wave 5 on New Zealand US dollar. Right, US dollar ZAR. So US dollar ZAR, the structure has changed there. We did not get that upside that we were looking at after the breakout of this correction. We had made this impulse. So instead, we've come down here in what looks like three waves. So it's going to be a move down here. That's three, a pulsing move. We're getting a three-wave structure here. This is what we're going to get on USDZAR. We may get a bounce here and then come back down here. Either way, even if we don't get a bounce and the structure becomes this, move to the downside, and we just get these three waves. That's a possibility as well. Either way, when you get to this level, that's where we're going to expect a bounce, but USDZAR will continue down before any move to the upside again. So we're still looking bearish on USDZAR. So that means strength in the South African rand for the next coming sessions. So that's how we have it on here. So that will be an ABC corrective structure. You'll see that the ABC structure does not change regardless of how this plays out inside here. Okay, so that is US dollar ZAR, pound yen. We've already looked at this one during trade setups. You've seen how we forecasted this current move to the upside from where we are here, where we were here in November last year. We made this corrective structure. Our setup, we had a setup, those that have been following us will remember that we had a setup for a sell here and then upside here, exactly as it is playing out now. This is what we have, still continuing to the upside, no sign of reversal as yet. It is still pushing higher. US dollar yen, we've already looked at this one during trade setups. Okay, you've seen this one during trade setups. If you haven't, you can just refer back to that. So we are looking for US dollar yen to do this. It's a 1, it's a 2. Internally here, it looks like we're getting a nest here, 1, 2, 3, whatever pullback we're getting currently is a lower degree wave 4. And we'll be looking for this to continue to the upside with another deeper correction in wave 4 and then upside like that, 3, 4, and a 5. So internally, you've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're looking for the deeper one, which is going to be a wave 4 and then upside. That is US dollar ZAR. You've seen the trade setup on that one. Euro yen, pretty interesting. Let's have a look at Euro yen. We're going to the yen pairs here. Let's have a look at this on the yen pairs. So Euro yen on the 4-hour, the structure that we're looking at is for this to continue pushing to the upside. You'll see that we're looking at this as a WX and then a Y in the Y degree here. This X degree can play out as a flat as follows. I'll show you just now. So these can be a move to the downside. 1, 2, 3. We can retest the top here. Let's put the chart in the center. So we have got this here, we've got this 1, 2, 3 here. We can retest this top here, come back down and make a move to the upside. That will not change the structure. The structure will stay intact. It will still be the W, it will still be the X, and it will still be the Y that we're looking at here. So we just need to confirm, are we gonna break out of here like that? Are we gonna get one more down before we make a move to the upside? Either way, it doesn't matter, because when the trade confirms, we'll be able to execute because we've got an indicator that's integrated to the Elliott Wave strategy that tells us when the trade is ready. This is Chief Yen. Chief Yen, we've always looked at, we've been looking at it initially as a move like this and then upside. So it looks like it is playing out exactly as expected. I'll show the view that I also showed in the last week as well. So last week, we also looked at this to be the structure. 1, 2, 3, and then move to the upside. This is still possible. You can still get this as 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. Let's just do this one here. It's 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. You can still get this as 1, 2, 3 down, and then a move to the upside in the impulsive wave here. So if you see this move come down here, that would be just to complete this ABC corrective structure here. And that would be in the green degree. Let's put it in here. Let's switch it up. Clear it up. So just to show that it will be in the green degree, this will be a WXY corrective structure. W, X, and a Y, and then a resumption of the move to the upside. The external structure just does not change. It will still be the ABC, and then that will be, we will still look for upside here. So let's watch this and see how that plays out. That is the Euro Yen and Chief Yen, Audi Yen. Audi Yen look for upside, just like Audi US dollar. It has made a 1, 2, 3 correction. It looks like we are now ready for a move to the upside with 1, 2, 5 waves to the upside. So any continuation pattern to the upside, look to take it. Although there's a possibility that you can still get this as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, test the top here, come back for 1, and then we go. There's a possibility, you just need to expect it, but either way, that will just mean that your wave 4 is ending as a flat and not as a zigzag. So that will be your wave 4 here. Simple structures, that's upside. Otherwise, if you don't get this one more down, you just trade it to the upside like that. That is AUD yen. Let's look at New Zealand. New Zealand, similar structure. We've already broken out of the previous high. So a continuation pattern here, we're not going to see one more down. So that means even AUD US dollar, we won't see one more down. We just got to see this continue to the upside. So any continuation patterns to the upside, trade setups for upside, we keep taking them on New Zealand yen as well as AUD yen. The trend is still upside. Okay, let's remove some of these. Take this off, take this off, take this off, take this off here. Right, so that's what we have on the yen pairs. And lastly, CAD yen has made a continuation pattern last week with this structure here. Again, this one is also broken out of the previous highs. We'll be looking for this one to continue to the upside. Wait for trade setups to the upside. The trends are clear, the direction is clear, so you can only trade one way, and that is with the trend. Okay, so you should not be losing any money. Those are the yen pairs. Let's go into the commodities. Gold. All right, so let's have a look at gold. Is the gold move complete? Let's have a look at the bigger structure here on the daily. So gold, as much as we're seeing this reversal in the last couple hours of the trading session, we're seeing this does not mean anything. Gold can still come back here and do this. And if it comes and retests this low here, we can then resume to the upside. Why would we resume to the upside? Let's look at both possibilities here. The first possibility is that this will be a 3-wave structure. Let's do that with red. This will be a 3-wave structure. This will be a 3-wave structure. And this will be a 3-wave structure. We come down here, we retest this low level here. So that structure will give us 3 waves simply like this. 1, 2, and a 3. So that means W, X, and a Y. And then we resume upside. So we can come down a little bit lower, or we may not. Even if we don't, that means we've got this as a flat correction. This already qualifies to be a regular flat. This is a zigzag combined with a flat correction, and then we're looking for upside here. Are we going to get this one to come slightly down before we push to the upside? There's a possibility on gold. I'm only going to show one alternative. There's another alternative, but it's not necessary for me to show it now. If anything changes, we'll update it. Maybe even send a short video during the week for that second alternative, should we see gold continue to the downside. Okay, so that is gold, silver. So we should still see gold and silver push lower in the next coming sessions. Let's see how this is going to play out. So silver had made 3 waves to the downside, and it has made 3 waves to the upside. Are we going to see this one come back down here? So that's why we see gold coming down as well, because silver has made 1, 2, 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3 waves up. Let's draw it cleanly. 1, 2, 3 waves to the upside. So silver could be making this correction for a move to the downside, possibly to retest this low before we make a move to the upside. So if silver can come back around this level, this is a very nice opportunity to accumulate again for another leg higher on silver. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. So the structure will be WXY correction. Then we look at this one to complete this corrective structure. It should be this, and then we resume upside. Very clear structures. Let's see how that plays out. Platinum, we're not going to look at platinum now. It's showing continuation to the upside in the next coming session. We're going to see a bit of a move to the upside here on platinum. Brent crude, we've reached our target that we've been looking for a while of 60. We've touched our 60 mark on Brent crude. What happens next? So we've got what looks like a 3-wave structure here on Brent crude. Is this the end of the move? Or we're going to see a Brent crude continue to the upside? If it continues to the upside, that means we're going to have a much bigger leg to the upside, and that's going to be in 5 waves. So what we have here is just a simple 3-wave structure up until 60. are we going to now see a corrective structure? There is no sign of reversal at this point on Brent crude. So any continuation pattern to the upside for now can still be taken. Now, if you look at CHF, last week we discussed two possibilities on US dollar pound CHF rather. So we've got to move to the upside. We're looking at this one as a pullback and then upside here like this. So what you want to look at, let me show you the forecast first and I'll show you what we were looking at previously. So you want to look for any pullback, any correction, whether it's for 1 hour, for you to take it up. We've already broken out of the bigger structure. How are we looking at this bigger structure? We're looking at it as follows. We're looking at this as an impulse, and we're looking at this as 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and 3 waves down. Now we've got that move correction here, and we're looking for this to go upside. So this is why we're looking for upside here on pound CHF. A couple of weeks back, there was a possibility that we were going to drop. We're looking for one drop first before we make a move to the upside. The structure would have been this, would have been a WXY structure, and then we're going to look for this one to continue to the upside after dropping about 400 pips. So it doesn't matter, it is now broken out of the structure. Look for continuation patterns to the upside. So this is what we're going to be looking at on pound CHF. Right, continuation to the upside. Let's look at the lower degrees here, 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we may be seeing a pullback. So only when we see a pullback will we look for interesting, for trade setups to the upside as you've seen in the higher degree. Pound CAD, similarly, pound CAD, we're showing a bit of a move to the upside for now. Let's have a look here on the 4 hour. So pound CAD, we're seeing a buy setup for upside. So this should continue to the upside, possibly to get around this level. I'll show you now the bigger structure and why we expect pound CAD to push higher, even though it is not as big a move as what it looks like on pound CHF. So pound CAD, we're looking for this structure to at least come around this level. Okay, so we'll then look at the structure like this. 1, 2, 1 more down, and then upside. So that's what we're looking at pound, but at this point, we're still continuing to the upside to see if we're going to retest this level there. Okay, what will that mean? That will be a move to the upside like this. This will be a pulsing move. This will be a corrective structure. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll have this one here as a move like that, and then we'll have a complete structure like that. That will be an A, B, C corrective structure. A, B, C corrective structure like that. But we are still here. We're still looking for this one to continue and complete this move. So this can get up to 180, which is still 500 pips away. So until we see any signs of reversal, we'll still be trading this leg to the upside on pound CAD. Pound AUD. Now pound AUD and pound New Zealand, they always, most of the time you find that they always go opposite the pound CHF. They're always in the inverse of pound CHF, pound CAD, and pound US dollar. Is this going to continue to the upside and retest this level here and then come back down? If it is the strength in the pound pairs that we're seeing that is driving the pound pairs to the upside, then we're going to see pound AUD retest this top here. So if we just look at this one here on the daily, let's have a look at it on the 4 hour. So on the daily, we may still continue and come and retest around this level, that's 700 pips away, and then come back down. That will be an impulsive move to the downside, bigger correction like that, and then downside. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. Is it confirming accordingly? Let's have a look. So the 4 hour is not confirming that upside that we're looking at until this becomes a clear corrective structure and we can see that this is not going to come down. Why would we expect this to come down? Because we can have this as a ABC corrective structure and then continuation to the downside. So this one, we need to wait for a setup here, whether we're going to get a sell or a buy. This is what we're going to be looking at this point. That is pound AUD, pound New Zealand, similar structure. Are we going to see pound New Zealand also make this similar structure, which is 3 waves to the upside and then continuation to the downside? Because the bigger structure on both pound AUD and pound New Zealand is downside. Okay, but this looks like a continuation pattern to the upside. If we start getting this as a continuation pattern, then we're going to change the structure. That is pound New Zealand. Pound Audi, this is pound ZAR. Let's look at euro pound. So euro pound, if the pound pairs continue to the upside, we are going to see this continue to the downside and retest the following low on the daily. So we are going to see euro pound come back down here. So that will be a structure like this. We've got a passing move down. We've got what looks like an ABC corrective structure here. Could be A, could be B, and then impulsive C here. And that's what we're going to be looking at on a pound, euro pound. So a structure like this, then we should resume upside. But what this means is we're still pretty much going sideways on the euro pound. This is daily, and this correction has been in play since 2020. In fact, for the past 2 or 3 years, euro pound has been in a corrective structure. Let me show you that on the weekly. We've been sideways for over 2 years, actually 4 years if you look at this. From 2016, euro pound has been in this corrective structure. It has been ranging between 8,400 and 0.84 and 9,500. So just within this 1,000 pip range correction. So that's where we still are even at this point. So we may see this one do this before resumption of the move to the upside. Okay, so that's what we've been expecting. So even if we do get upside here, that upside may be kept around this level because the bigger structure on the weekly is 3 waves down, 3 waves up, possibly one more down before we push to the upside. So we're still going to be sideways for a while on the euro pound. Euro Audi. Euro pound Audi, you can see the structure on the weekly. Why would anybody want to buy this structure? Correction here, we focused on this correction. We're looking at this one to come to the downside. Now, if you look at our website in the week, we also focused on that we were going to get a move to the downside, and it is already playing out. So Euro Audi could be your trade of the week. Look out for Euro Audi. We already have that posted a couple of weeks back, last week already, and it's playing out nicely. Let's look at the euro pairs. So Euro Audi could potentially be your trade of the week. If you look at the 4-hour, look where we were in the week. This was on the 30th of January, before the start of last week. So we were looking for this to come down. We are already coming down. If you look at Euro Audi now on the 4-hour, let's go to the 4-hour. You'll see that we've already started coming down, and that is our structure. As forecasted, this is where we were. Here's an entry. This continues to the downside. Next stop is around this level. So look for sell setups. We can even break lower than this on Euro Audi. So we're looking downside on Euro Audi. Similarly on Euro New Zealand. Again, this is another pair that you do not want to be buying because the long-term bias is downside. The trend is clear and it's downside on Euro Audi and Euro New Zealand. So we're looking for downside. That's why we're looking for pound New Zealand and pound Audi as well to continue to the downside. Any continuation patterns like this, we're looking for downside. The indicator will tell you if it's ready to resume the trend, then we execute again. That is a Euro New Zealand, EURCAD. We've got a trade set up on a EURCAD. I didn't show this one during trade setups. Let's just have a look at it on here. So EURCAD, it was one of those painless trades where you just get the trade set up, you execute, and it just drops like that. So this is where we are now on EURCAD. We are around this level, 53.20. We're pulling back here. We should still go down to the target. We should actually possibly even go lower than what the forecasted target. So this is where we were. This was our trade setup on EURCAD, and this is how it is dropped, just like that. Even this move that you see here, during our live trading room, we've got live trading room from Mondays to Fridays at 8 a.m. GMT. That is the start of the London time. We forecasted that at this point, we are going to get a bounce. Is this bounce that we're getting a continuation pattern or a reversal? This could be a continuation pattern, and we see this. We are still in the trade. That is EURCAD. As you've seen, EUROCHIF. EUROCHIF may continue to the upside. and make this structure. One, we see this one as a flat, expanding flat, and we could see this one continue to the upside. So any deep corrective structure here on EURJPY, we can see this continue to the upside. This is also supported by pound chief, which is showing upside. Why are we looking for a structure like that? Let's try it on the 8-hour and see why. So this is the reason why we're looking at these to push to the upside. We could be looking at 3 waves to the upside, 3 waves down, and 3 waves up. Where are those 3 waves? Those 3 waves are these: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So not like that. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We're looking for the last 3 here to make this structure. But eventually, we're going to have 1, 2, and the 3, making this ABC corrective structure. Where are we now? We are in this lower red degree. We're looking for this to complete, that red to complete here and give us this move. That is EURJPY. Not necessarily a good trade setup, but that's just a forecasted direction. AUD New Zealand, if you look on the side here on AUD New Zealand, you'll see that this, we're looking at the crosses now. Let's look at the crosses. AUD New Zealand, we focused on that reversal. If you look at this chart, also posted on the 30th of January, that was last week. So we focused on that AUD New Zealand was going to do this and was going to do this. How are we doing now? It's doing exactly as forecasted. We have dropped and we have made the reversal. That you can see that it's a straight line that is forecasted. It may not go in a straight line, so we may have this impulse, we can have corrective structure, we continue to the upside just for 3 waves. So we'll update as it goes on what we expect to happen. Now, AUDCAD, let's have a look at AUDCAD as well. Similarly, AUDCAD, we expected 1 more down and then upside. So this is where we are on AUDCAD. Let's have a look at this chart. We forecasted that this was going to be a corrective structure. Maybe if you've been watching the videos, you will know that this is exactly what we forecasted. Downside here, and then the resumption of the move to the upside. How is AUDCAD playing out? Exactly as forecasted. Makes this correction, makes this downside. 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and then an impulse. Are we ready for a move to the upside? Looks like the AUD strength is back and the pullbacks are over. So this one is AUD Chief, has made a simple 3-wave pullback here. Now it has made this impulsive move. We need to see a correction here if this is going to push to the upside on AUD Chief. New Zealand CAD, strength in the New Zealand, look for this continuation pattern. This could be another trade for upside here on New Zealand CAD, looking upside there. Right, that is New Zealand CAD. The New Zealand Chief, similarly, looking for continuation pattern to the upside. So that just means the AUD and New Zealand strength resumes. New Zealand Chief, continuation to the upside. CAD Chief, look for continuation to the upside. We are in this corrective structure. We had a sell setup here a couple of weeks back. We sold this one here, and it's now bounced back up here, going to the top of the boundary. So essentially, this is a move to the downside. This is a correction. At the top here, we should see this resume downside again. That is CAD Chief, and that's all on the Forex space. Now, the indices for the last couple of months, the analysis has just been straightforward. We've just been saying the same thing. There's no analysis here that you need to do. All you have to do is buy the pullbacks because we are in this wave 5. We are in this wave 5. We're looking for this to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. We're looking for upside. So this focused on the indices. It has not just started here. It has not just started here. It started when we were here. Right here, if you go to this date and get a video from this date, you will see that we've been focusing that the S&P 500 is going to push to the upside. Let's just show the chart of the S&P 500 chart here so you can see what the sequence looks like. Let's go to the indices. S&P 500. So this is where we were here last week. This is on the 7th of it's actually the latest chart. So this is actually the latest chart. We're still expecting upside here on the S&P 500. If you go back, you'll see that we focused on the S&P 500 to push to the upside from here because we are looking for these 5 waves here in wave 5. So any push to the upside is an opportunity. Any pullback on the S&P 500 and the other indices is an opportunity to sell. Okay, so let's have a look. The Dow will be similar, same structure as S&P 500. Has pulled back. We saw this pullback last week. Has made three-way pullback. We are now back at the previous highs. Any corrective structure here, opportunity to resume higher. Nasdaq, same, has made the pullback, has continued to the upside. So with the Nasdaq as well, from here, we forecasted this move to the upside from here, looking for all these 5 waves to play out from there. So the structure on the Nasdaq, we'll show it just now. Let's have a look at the chart of the Nasdaq for hour. So you can see where that comes from. So this is the Nasdaq. All you need to do is to just go back to the video from around these dates, and you'll see that this is the forecast to complete the 5 waves. So we're still looking for continuation pattern to the upside on the Nasdaq. UK 100 starting to look very interesting as well. So is the UK 100 going to give us this pullback and continue to the upside? The pullback has become a little bit deeper, so meaning the UK 100 may have completed this structure and it may be ready to continue to the downside. Let's have a look at the latest structure on the UK 100. As it is now, we've made the pullback. We've got a bounce, we've got a correction. We may get this. If we get something like this here on the UK 100, this should resume lower. Let's put it on the 4 hours so we can see the bigger structure here. So we've made this simple 3 waves on the UK 100. Is this the end of the move? Could very well be the end of the move. Whatever correction we get here, let's see if it's going to drop around this level. Then we're going to adjust the structure. So UK 100, just a pullback there. The DAX, like the other indices, has made the pullback, which we saw last week as well. A 3-wave structure, clear 3 waves, by the way, clear 3 waves, and then upside. We're not just looking at this structure and say these 3 waves and then we're buying. No, we're looking at the complete sequence of this. And the sequence here is this one here on the DAX. We're looking for 5 waves from around this level. We're looking for this to make 5 waves to the upside to go and complete only just the wave 3. So there's still quite a big move to the upside on the DAX. The Nikkei, again, those that have been watching the Nikkei will remember that we forecasted that this current upside from right here. We looked for this one to make this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 in this degree. Last week we had this pullback, and now we are back at all-time highs, and then we're looking for this one to continue to the upside. That is the Nikkei, and lastly, in the Nifty, which is not listed on our website. So we had this deeper pullback. It's also continuing to the upside. So very clear 5 waves here on the Nifty. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and what looks like an extended wave 5. That's all, guys. We'll see you next week. I think we have completed all the pairs here. The rest is the crypto pairs, which you can check out on the crypto video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a productive week ahead. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop us a comment, and share the video so it can reach as many people as possible. We'll appreciate that. Have a great week, everybody. Trade responsibly. Cheers. Bye-bye.